morning. I'm doing a quick yin. I'm just going to do it as a flow. And if you want to do it on your own, you can take a timer, stop the video when you want, and hold the poses from 1 to 3 minutes. If you want to do it as a flow, just to get moving in the morning, that's fine too. You just want to hold long enough to release. It's much more effective if you hold longer for the connective tissue. So we're just going to start rolling the rib cage around. This will only be about a half an hour. And then roll in the opposite direction. You want to make really big circles. So you move all the parts of the spine. Flexion as you go back, that's a rounded spine. Lateral movement, side. Heart centers forward, that's your lumbar curve. Extension, lateral, and back. And then from here, inhale, arch up, cat-cow, and then round way back. Exhale, look to your navel. Inhale, rock forward and up. Exhale, rock back, look to your navel. One more time. Inhale, rock forward and arch up. Open the throat and then rock back and see your navel. And you can use the breath with that. Bring the knees forward, interlock the hands and round the upper back. Soften the tops of the shoulders and just take a few breaths here, opening the space between the shoulder blades. And then start to draw up from the tailbone, lumbar curve. Bring the hands behind. Separate the feet just about as wide as your hips and either stay here lifting the chest or reach the knees, come into table. You're okay here, let your head go. It takes a little while to get used to that. And then after a few breaths there, bring the head forward, shift your hips to your heels, bend the elbows back and breathe. Opening the back of the ribs, the shoulders. And then just from here, lift up and draw back, coming right to diamond pose. Diamond pose, you can put blocks under the knees if you like. Make sure you're up on the sit bones, tip both hip bones forward and come forward and breathe here. We usually hold this about 3 minutes. We're only going to hold it about 10 breaths. You want to hear your inhales and your exhales. And mostly you want to relax. Relax the mind, relax the body. Scan, notice if you're holding in your face or anywhere else. And then just roll up. After about a minute or 2 or 3 there, and then we're going to just bring the right, let's bring both legs forward. We're going to bring the right leg up just so you can see me first, and then twist into the leg. About 10 breaths. And then just hold the ankle, bring the shin around, stacking the knees. You can always put something under the knee if that feels like too much to you. And then just roll down, crown of the head, rounds down toward the knees. Relax the neck and tops of the shoulders. And then you come forward if you like. You can always support your elbows on blocks and support your head. Sometimes I'll put a pillow in my lap You hold this about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. Great to have your phone and use the timer on the phone. You can time with counting your breath. You can count 10 breaths. 10 slow breaths usually is about 1 minute if it's slow. And then we're going to bring up the left leg, lift the spine. I don't know if I'm mirroring you or not, so you'll have to figure that out. And then start to twist into the knee. 10 breaths is usually about 1 minute if you breathe slow. So you could do 10 breaths. If you're doing 2 minutes, just do 10 breaths and start over. After about 10 breaths, or 20, whatever you're doing, bring the foot across. Soften, drop the chin to the chest, roll down 1 vertebra at a time. The main thing is not being too concerned about the length of the holds. That does make a difference, but how you are in each moment in the hold. About 1 minute, 1.5 minutes or 2 here. Relax the groins, relax every cell. Let your body start to feel a little more expansive. So any contraction, physically or mentally, start to soften that out. Start to roll up and, let's see. This time, let's just bring the foot across, bring the other foot in, ankle to knee. You can roll the inner thighs back here, or ankle in front of the knee. You want to have the ankles stacked though, front or on top. I think I'll do it front today. Roll the inner thighs back. You can also bring your shin up on a blanket or bolster. And same thing here. Roll down through the spine. So flex down through the spine. And then when you come down and you release there, start to stretch out through the spine, tipping the hips forward a little bit. About 10 breaths. 1 minute, about 2 minutes here. You can be up much higher. If it feels like too much in the knees, push back. After about 2 minutes to the front, you have the option of walking your hands over toward the foot that's in front or the foot that's in top. I'm walking my hands to the right. You can stay here. I like to be up on blocks. You can also come all the way around if you like. Breathe there. And again, continue to practice letting go. Then after about 10 or so breaths here, about 1 minute here, so this whole thing right here would be about 3 minutes, longer if you like. We're going to pick up the foot that's in front, step across, and come around and reach your hands way out for a short dog. You can do square dogs, so the hands and feet are the same distance. You can come up onto blocks, fingertips. Just let go. So the idea is just to let go. Pour yourself into your body so you're not pulling up out of it, not holding on. After you feel yourself let go, release, walk the hands to the right or the same side you were going in, come down to sit. Right leg comes on top now, or other leg on top, or underneath. I'm working underneath today. Drop down through the chin, roll down through the spine, upper back, middle back, and low back. Soften the jaw as you go, and then out with the heart center. Root back through the outer tops of the hips. And about 10 breaths here, or about 2 minutes. Or if you just want to kind of flow through, that's fine. It's not quite yin when you do the flow, but that's okay. You're still opening the meridians. Calming the mind, calming the body. And then after about 2 minutes here, start to walk your hands toward the foot that's in front or the foot that's on top. And elbows can be on blocks again. You can push back with your hands, so you go back into the back hip if you need to. If you want to walk further across, I've been walking further across lately. And then start to lift up a little bit. Step the right foot across, or the foot that's in front across, and come around to dangle. Yeah, I hope you can see me. Stretching the arms forward initially if you like, just to settle into it. You can do the whole thing here. Every now and then really let the breath out, relax. You can hold the elbows. Swing a little bit with it. Pour yourself into your body. Notice if you're pulling up out of it, soften. Let gravity help. Staying here for about a minute. Usually we hold this about 2 minutes. All in all, you can hold it longer or shorter. You can interlock the hands if you like. Bring the arms over. You can bend the knees if you like. Every now and then change the thumb that's on top. And straighten the legs. You can keep a micro bend in the knees. And then from here, start to bend. Stick your bottom out. Elbows come up to the knees. I don't know if you can see me. I guess I kind of came out of the frame. I'm in the bunny room. It's a very small room. And then from here, start to come down to your squat, sitting on a block or bolster. I'll turn side a little bit so you're here. About a minute or so here. The bunny's over there sleeping. You can hang if you like. The main thing is whatever hold, the length of the hold that you're having, and I'm going to say it a million times, is to relax. Physically, if you relax the body, the mind relaxes, the heart softens, and vice versa. So from here, lean back a little bit, find your lumbar curve, and just take a few rocks, and rock, and rock. Go slow or as fast as you like. The next time you come up and drop the knees to the right, so I'm dropping to the right now, you might be in a different direction. Bring the arm all the way around and twist. So I'm going to the right and I'm reaching with the left arm looking back to my back foot. And then come back to center. And so you pass through center, flop, just like what you were doing. And then come all the way around, reach. See if you can see the back foot, so it's a big twist. And then come back and drop and reach and twist. And one more time, and rock and back. And drop the knees and twist. And then come back to center and stretch the right leg out, left leg back. So you're here. I like to come over to my elbow and just stay here for a few breaths. I get more out of it by not going down real far. So just play with it. A lot of times we'll practice putting a block under the hip, but just keep it pretty natural today. Relax. You can draw the foot closer in. Some people will come back on their both elbows. Work with both elbows. If you feel bunchy in the low back, you can scoop the tailbone a little bit, bringing the right foot up. You have a little bit of a lumbar curve, but if it's too bunchy, adjust. Your body will tell you what to do. Just listen. Just start to trust what you're hearing. I still have a big problem with that, So we're here just about, a couple minutes, and then shift. Say we did a couple minutes, and just come up a little bit. Bring back the right foot. Yeah, so maybe if you get here and that's a lot, just stay here. No problem. Don't be in a hurry. No hurry. And then if you're okay there, you come onto the elbow. I always feel bunchy on the extended leg, so I always bring my foot up and scoop under a little bit. Come onto the elbows if you like. So you want to pay attention to both sides of the back. And again, concentrate on letting go, especially in each breath. Don't wait. The posture may relax after you're in it for a while, but don't wait for that. Relax in each breath, the best that you can, one breath at a time. Now from here, we're just going to come up. We're going to keep the right leg back. Anyway, you can come up and step the right leg back, left leg forward, coming into low lunge. Either here, letting the upper back go. You can heel toe the left foot out a little bit, coming down to the elbows, or step on your hands. I like to come up on blocks. I don't like to go down too far, but it's totally up to you. And just relax here. So you hold this about a minute. After about a minute, you have the option of rolling the foot out and pushing the knee away for wing dragon. I like to take my hand and put it at the top of the thigh and push the top of the opposite thigh away to make space. You can come back to center here if you like, if you've been doing this a while. And we'll let the upper back go, bend the back foot in and pull the foot towards your buttock. One more option is Gitasana, is to turn the left toes out. You might have to heel toe the foot down a little bit. Sometimes I bring it down in line with the navel. Keep the weight forward and roll to the outer edge of the right hip, opening the whole side body here. It's a lot on the arms, but you want to stay up high. Yeah, a little weight bearing in the wrist and arms is good for you. Even though it may feel uncomfortable, we don't weight bear that much up here. Just a couple more breaths here. And like I said, you can hold these for a long time. Sometimes I'll practice and just hold until it releases. So you're really listening. Come back around, heel to the foot in, one hand on either side. Come up on blocks if you need to. Flex the foot, tailbone up, head up, extend the spine. Think of a back bend, even if you aren't getting to one. You can come forward with the head. 30 seconds at least with the foot parallel, toes pointing up. And then rotate the leg out. Another 30 seconds or a minute, however long you want to hold here. You can also slide to a split here. Flex that foot back. You'll think that it's back as far as it can go, and then you pull it back a little bit more so that you feel the fascia in the foot, maybe up the Achilles, maybe into the calf. Of course, you're going to feel it up higher too, maybe. Even out the ribs, especially if you have scoliosis on the side that's tighter. Open that up. Bring the hand center. Step back. Widen the knees. And slide the arms forward if you like. Hands to prayer, bending the elbows. And just take a few breaths here. You can also just have your head on your hands.
relax. Don't wait to relax. Always try to stay in that open state. It's a lot easier to stay open when you haven't closed. When you get uptight and all that, it takes a while to unwind.
That's why we have these great practices. Now from here, step forward with the right foot, shift forward, maybe tuck the left toe under, chug it back a little bit. Let the upper back go. You could stay right here. The hands can be on blocks, but you want to relax. These are hard to relax in sometimes. You can bring the hands center. Heel toeing the foot out a little bit. You can come down onto the elbows or blocks if you like. Let your belly relax. After you're here for a little while, you have the option of heel toeing the right foot out, rolling to the outer edge of the right foot. I don't know if you can see me here. And then you lean and push the top of the thigh away. I don't know if you can see that, but you get the gist. And then after you're there for a while, you have the option of, you can have your forearm up on a bolster here, but you bring it across. You can take the foot and draw it to the buttock. Take a few more breaths here. Maybe on one side, you need to stay there longer. Allow yourself to do that. Relax the belly. This is when you get to relax the belly. One more option is, again, Gitasana. After Gita, turn the left toes out, heel toe the foot down a little bit. Keep up on the arms and roll to the outer edge of the left thigh. And then start to come back around. Heel toe front, tail up, head up, slide the heel forward, flex the foot. Pull the pinky toe back more and more and more as you open into it. You can let your head go. You can even stack blocks up and rest your elbows up on blocks or right here on blocks. Rotate the leg out from the hip, flex the foot back a little bit more. Pull it back a little bit more. And then bring the hands center and come around. Now this time bring your right ankle over the left, crossing the ankles, right ankle over the left. Left arm stretches up, open the hip, open the side body. And then we're just going to thread the arm across, coming onto the left cheek. You can keep a weight on the right hand. You can bring the top arm forward and twist a little bit if you like there. Some people like to drape the arm around. You could drape the arm around, pull the left hip back a little bit. You can always support your head, putting your head on a block or on your right hand. Tailbone straight back. And then start to come up after about a minute or two, minute and a half. Change ankles. So now we put the left ankle on top. Inhale the right arm up, open the chest. And slide the right arm across, coming onto the cheek. You'll reach the arm forward. The fingers can walk over to the left if you like, twisting a little bit more, or the hand can come over the back, hooking around the right thigh, pulling the right thigh straight back, hip straight back, tailbone straight back, or simply use your hand for support. I usually like to have my hand for support, or slide the left hand under your cheek. Yep, here comes the bunny. Hey, bunny. Hey, little bunny. And then back to center. And separate the knees really wide. In fact, come forward onto your elbows. Widen the knees. So wide child's pose here is your option. I like to put a block under my rib cage here, even wider if you can, and then shift forward and come into frog, either with the feet open or here, stay in wide child's pose. Just take a few breaths here. And so you say, hold this for about a minute or 2 or 10, and then easy does it. Walk the legs back. I don't know if you can see my feet. You can. And then from here, just stay here, lengthen the legs, tuck it, stretch back. We're going to come over, bring the left arm side. Oh, there goes Bunny. Hey, Bunny. Left arm side, 90 degrees. The elbow's a little higher than the shoulder. You're coming onto the left cheek. Left arm side, left cheek. Lift up the right leg and bring it across, opening through the heart center there, heart meridian. Bring the pinky finger up and through. Hold this about a minute. Even if you just move through these, you're stimulating all the meridians. It's not as deep in the fascia, but it's still opening the meridians. So right arm out, elbow a little higher than the shoulder. Coming onto the right cheek, the left leg comes over, breathe there, relax into it. Hey Bunny, it's Bunny room. It's my buddy. And then release center, and bring the elbows forward. Tuck and lengthen the legs if you need to, pull the bottom rib forward. Work the elbows up for Sphinx pose. So the elbows are right underneath the shoulders, like so. And sink. You can let your head go here if you like. Some people like to bend their knees up and flop their feet out. I'm not crazy about that, but sometimes the ones that you're not crazy about, they just haven't changed. So give them time to change. Relax. So we're here about a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes. After that, you can come up. I really like coming up onto, I don't have a block in here. I like coming up onto the block for another minute here in between. So you can stay here or be up on a block, or pillow is good. And then if you want to come all the way up for another minute or two to seal pose, so the hands can point out, you can seal it in closer. You can seal it out further, but once you settle into it, sink. Yeah, so you really sink. Sink your belly down, the bottom ribs down, soften between the shoulder blades. Drool a little bit. If you need to tuck and chug your top of the thighs back a little bit, you can. I always bunch up a little bit. Soften here. So we hold this about a minute. Some people like to open the shoulders back and lift the chin. Pushing the bottom teeth forward, stretching the platysma. Opening the throat chakra there. And then after about a minute there, start to come down and pull the bottom ribs forward. Slide the hands back by the bottom rib. Now we're just going to lift up the chest, turn your head to the right, and lower down. So you come up on the inhale, center, turn your head to the left, exhale, down. Rest the neck and shoulders. Inhale, up, center, turn your head to the right, exhale, lower down. One more time. Inhale, up, center, turn your head to the left, exhale, lower down. We're going to add the leg to it. So you inhale up and lift the right leg, stretch. Turn your head to the right, exhale down. Inhale, come center, the left leg lifts. Turn your head to the left, exhale down. Inhale, up center, the right leg lifts. Turn your head right. Is that right? Yep, exhale down. Inhale up, left leg lifts. Turn your head to the left, exhale down. Inhale back to center. Just with the torso, lift up the chest. Interlock the hands, stretch back, lift the legs slightly off the floor. Either stay here or bend the knees. circles. Up, press the heels together, up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Either stay here or take your shins and draw the shins up. Not moving the upper body too much, just lifting the thighs. And releasing back. Hands to your forehead to your hands. If your legs were straight, you can do the whole thing with the legs straight and the legs down. And then just wag. You want your feet to be, your knees to be wider than the hips, and just wag. The upper body stays pretty still. And then from here, just extend the legs back, and we're going to bend the right knee up and roll onto the right, roll onto your back. So the right knee is going to be over to the side for a twist. Can you see me? Am I totally off? So the right knee is across, and the right arm's out about 90 degrees. You can look to the right or left, or head center. If you want a little more twist in the neck, you can turn your head to the left, and you'll get a gentle twist, a gentle stretch in the neck. About a minute or two here. If your back is funky, make sure you roll the outer edge of the hip down and then slide that right leg down. Get yourself centered on the mat. If you need to hug in the knees in between, hug them in and rest. Yeah. If you're funky, wait for everything to just kind of settle. And slide the right knee down, 90-degree angle in the left. Bring the left knee across, opening the left arm, shoulder down, elbow bend, and just hang out here. If you need a bolster under the knee, that's great. I mean, you can put it under there. You can turn the head to the right or left. I like turning my head far away from the shoulder, stretching the neck a little bit. We didn't do much side stuff today. A little shorter class. And then about another breath or two there. And then start to come up, bringing the left foot down and slide the right foot up and scoop your tailbone. Widen the feet so the feet are wide, dropping the knees to the left side. Heel toe the right foot back a little bit if you need to. Right arm back up. If you'd like to bring the left foot on top, you can. You can turn your head to the side. Hold this as long as you like. I don't like my foot on top that much, and sometimes I'll even put something underneath the right knee. And if it's not quite right, shift a little bit. See if you can shift it and get yourself in a better place. And then start to slide the right knee in a little bit and then come back up. Scoop the tail, center the hips. If you need to hug the knees in at any point, you can definitely do that. Drop the knees off to the right. Heel toe the left foot back a little bit if you need to. Left arms over your head. Right hand's down, just resting. Turn your head right or left. Or center. And like I said, you can get a little twist in the neck by turning the head one side or the other. So like I'm turning my head in. I don't normally do that, but I feel a tightness in my neck, so you can kind of do the neck while you're there too. Already it's letting go. After a minute or two here, start to come back to center. Maybe slide the knee toward the other knee to come up and then back up. And again, lift up and roll the hips down, both arms overhead. Inhale a breath. As you exhale, reach the knees away from you, roll the hips up. Right away, inhale, roll down, upper back, middle back, and low back. Relax to the lumbar curve. Inhale a breath, back of the ribs. Exhale, roll up. Inhale, roll down, turn the palms towards each other, upper back, middle back, and low back. Stay here, inhale a breath. And then exhale, soften the navel to the floor, reach the knees away, and roll the hips up all in one exhale. Interlock the hands. As you inhale, tip the chin back, hands up, drop the pubic bone down, 5 breaths here. So the chin is back, the thoracic spine is floating up between the shoulder blades toward the chin. You can also put a block here. Normally, I do have a pillow up here. You can put the block under there. You can extend your legs out if you like, if you're using the block, or undo the hands. You can do a wheel there if you like. Some of you guys like to do a wheel. Bring the hips down, let the knees come in. Rock them a few times. And then after a little bit, you can come to diamond, a few breaths here, or bug, sort of a really loose bug. Loose bug, yeah, so don't push or pull. You can let the sit bones come up. If you feel like you need to pull them down, pull them down. You can do this totally without the bolster. And then start to extend the legs back. Maybe your legs are up. Slide the hands up and just draw the legs towards you. If they're close to you and you want to roll, I like to roll back a little bit, getting a little more into the erector spinae, muscles along the sides of the ribs. So it's not a shoulder stand. You're not all the way back on the shoulders and top of the head. Back of the head. You can do that if you want. If you're used to doing that, it's your practice. So you can, outer edges of the hips, soften back a little bit. And then from here, start to, after about a minute and a half, roll down. Bring the knees in, feet flat. Roll the upper arm bones under, tip the chin back, let the knees hang side. You hold just here about 10 breaths with the knees hanging to the side. You normally have a lumbar curve here. Relax. Open the legs out to the side for X person. So the legs are open, the arms are open. Hold any of these postures longer. This is a shorty. And we're just going to bring the left leg across the right. Try not to move the right leg. Join the left leg across and then hold your elbows or hands behind your head. I like to bring my hands behind my head and bend your torso more to the right for the banana pose. Also do this with the foot down. Slide the right leg further across and then bring the left leg up. So you can do a little bit with the ankles crossed. I don't think you can see my ankles. I think they're under the bed. Play with the direction of your head. A couple minutes there and then just simply come back to X person. Open the arms, open the legs, settle for a minute. And then we're going to bring the right leg over to the left, crossing it over. You might have to wiggle your bottom out of the way. Sometimes doing it this way you don't though. And then hands behind the head, bend your torso far left. Breathe there. Let the legs turn in a little bit if that's helpful, especially the bottom leg if it's cramping. Play with it. So you have to honor your own insight. You have to figure it out. Not with words, but by just how it feels. You're more intuition oriented. And And after here a little while, you can always drop the right leg down to the inside of the left, slide the left leg out a little bit more maybe, and then see if you can slide the right leg closer to the left. For me, that's usually pretty big. It changes it. And then come back to center with the torso, out with the leg, and hands to the pelvis. If your back's a little funky, you can conclude here bringing the hands right out for Shavasana. You want to continue here. You can bring the knees up. Open one more time to bug. Soft bug. Stretching the legs out to the side. Hands underneath. Press the heels. This is just extra if you want to work here. You can also come to the wall and open the legs on the wall. And just stay here with the legs on the wall. Or let your legs hang into your hands. Let it relax though. It's a challenge to relax sometimes. It's like, especially now with all this stuff going on. And then if you're at the wall, you let your legs come up and you just can do Shavasana with the legs up the wall. If you're not working with the legs up the wall for Shavasana, the knees can knock in. Taking part of Shavasana with the knees knocked in, maybe the elbows draped across each other. If you're working with the arms here, about 10 breaths. The elbows crossed. You can change arms. Or if you're at the wall, you can just stay there with the legs up the wall. You can just slide the hands down to the pelvis here, and working here in Shavasana if you like. Or continue and just slide the legs out, roll the upper arm bones down, and conclude with your Shavasana. Continue in Shavasana for about 5 or 7 minutes. You can put your legs up on a chair, ottoman, bolster under the knees. Just get creative. Open the face if you need to. Looking up into the eyebrows. And just stay here as long as you like in Shavasana. Thank you for practicing. Namaste. Stay in Shavasana.